And we're already at the final part of the Castlevania commentary. This game goes by pretty goddamn quickly, I just noticed. Oh yeah, favorite line in the game. I fell for hours! If you don't know where that line comes from, it was originally used in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which featured Dr. Robotnik yelling, I fell for hours! And, Super Robotnik Land. If you haven't played Super Robotnik Land, then I recommend that you do look it up on YouTube, then download the game. I fell for hours was one of the lines in that. It's when, Dr. Robotnik goes into, Super Yoshi's mouth, Super Yoshi being a very large Yoshi, from the SMB3 show, I'm figuring, or probably the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. And what happened was, yeah, at the very beginning of the stage, he yells, I fell for hours. I'm figuring that was a reference to Castlevania, because Castlevania is the only game that features I fell for hours, so, yeah. That stage really, that underwater segment, the merman can really tip you off, because their jumps are randomized. You don't know when they'll pop out of the water, so you always have to constantly be either spamming your whip like I was, or spamming the holy water like I'm doing right now with the Fleaman. But then again, these birds can be very annoying. These birds are the anal train wreck out of a bag of diluted plastic. Let's say diluted plastic. And, yeah. By the way, if you saw the original Castlevania playthrough that I did, if you were playing normal mode, money would actually come out of the bone dragons. And, of course, just like every good Castlevania game that features money coming out of a dragon, I do money, 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 money! You get the point. But, and again, that's another pot roast I just found out that exists in this game. I didn't know that existed the first time around that I played this. Then again, these bone dragons actually come in handy in games such as Symphony of the Night, where you can actually use the dragon familiar, but we'll get to Symphony of the Night when we get to that. I am still trying to figure out, like, what I'm gonna do with that game, and now Frankenstein. Yeah, we get Frankenstein from the Frankenstein movies with a flea man on his head. Again, spam the holy water, and he is done. You can also, adjust your special pose at the end. You can either be jumping, or you can be shooting the whip at the very end of the stage, or being prepared to shoot the whip. It's pretty fun at the end of the stage when you get to do this. And it's only because, like, I'm figuring that was something that Konami never got to fix. But hey, it made good work out of a video game. You get to make an epic pose at the end of every stage. That was actually something that Clement had liked about Super Castlevania 4, because it features the same thing. You can aim the whip in any direction or jump in the air right when you're about to shoot the whip, or when you shoot it, and when you get that glowing orb, which I'm figuring is a life restore item, because it fills up my health very quickly, yeah, you can always do the epic pose. You can always... It'll, like, freeze the screen exactly on that pose that you do, and, yeah, it's pretty awesome. By the way, if you destroy more than one enemy with your, projectile attack, whether it be the crucifix or the holy water or any of these items, you can actually give off a special enemy bonus that, like, if it's from the same projectile, you'll get, your first enemy will give you 1,000, your second will give you 2,000, third, 4,000. Rarely have I ever killed a fourth enemy to get either 8,000 or a 1-up. But it's sort of Mario logic. If you are familiar with how Mario works, then yeah. Nevertheless, these are the most annoying enemies in the game because they take the most hits, aside from Darkwing Bat. These are the Axe Armor Knights, which shoot axes from any direction, which pretty much can be killed with one jar of holy water. Who would have thought that holy water can kill all these things? Nevertheless, I do question, how come holy water turns into fire when you break it? I mean, like, Would that really happen? Would that really happen if I shook a bottle of holy water, tossed it to the ground, and had no fire on the ground whatsoever? Would it literally turn into red or green fire? It turns into green fire for some reason in Castlevania Vampire's Kiss, which is the European version of Rondo of Blood for the Super Famicom and Super Nintendo. Or Symphony of the Night, which apparently does the same thing. Also, Harmony of Dissonance and Symphony of the Night, if you're playing as Richter, they somehow give off the gimmick where the fire turns blue. But then again, how can fire be blue when there's not 40,000 degrees of air for that fire to be blue? Because, oh yeah, another problem, if you kill an enemy and you go off screen, they will respawn. Saddening, really. But I digress, back to the fire. Blue fire literally is at 40,000 degrees. If you've never seen that before, or if you haven't really studied fire in your science classes, talk to your science teacher. They will talk to you about this. I originally learned about how blue fire is actually 40,000 degrees worth from Miss Curtin, who I also learned stuff about astrology in. I mean, not astrology, astronomy, sorry. I think I also learned something about this from my other science teacher, Miss Vugman. I don't know if they'll remember me, though. I haven't seen them in forever. Well, definitely Miss Curtin will remember me, probably not Vugman. I haven't seen her in forever. But I am going into a bit of a tangent. Let's go back to this game, shall we? Yes, I have 2 bars of health, and no, I don't bother getting hit. I am a master of this game, so I can pretty much last without dying. Even if this was normal mode, I would still survive. And probably might as well mention how the 1-up system in this game works, because if you haven't noticed already, I got a 1-up at 30,000 points, and then I got another one at 80,000. This game is a bit different. Because this game is actually the NES version of